So you want to do some overhead stuff. Well, you're probably going to need your lower traps for that. And we got an exercise that'll help those lower traps out. What's up, everybody? I'm Kavon with Functional Fitness VA, and today we're doing the Y raise, the trap 3 raise, the whatever you want to call it raise. So I like doing them from a 45, 60-ish degree position. Arms are coming out at 45-ish degrees, staying pretty long through the elbow, and getting as far overhead as possible with control. So how do we do that? Well, first thing we gotta do is get in the right position. And if we're talking no equipment, we hinge over. Push your hips back, brace through your core, stay long through your spine, knees are soft, pack your lats, so depress your shoulders, which that'll come into play later, and make sure your spine stays long throughout. Easy thing that can happen when hinging over is losing your posture one way or the other. Either rounding, flexing through your spine, or extending too much, hyperextending, arching your back too much. In this, we want to be more or less neutral throughout. That's got that little bit of curve to your spine. And then the movement is through your arms and shoulder blades. Not really extending more through your spine again, more on that later. So simple here, I'm raising the dumbbells as they arc through the air to an overhead position with my arms out at about a 45 degree and trying to kind of pull my shoulder blades down and kind of together at the top. Here's my amazing illustration for you to see that. We got the traps here. You got upper traps, you got lower traps. They're that trapezoidal type design, right? That's the name. So they're pulling the top of your shoulder blades down as it rotates that shoulder blade out, kind of sort of. The top comes down and in, the outside goes out. That's what allows you to get your arms overhead. I'm a little off camera here, but we'll tighten it up. What you need to know is as your arms go overhead, those lower trap muscles are pulling the shoulder blades kind of towards each other and down, right? Again, the top, the internal top aspect of the shoulder blade. Big thing you need to know is, and you can kind of see them there. Wish I was a little leaner so you could see them more, but they're working to pull those shoulder blades as those arms go overhead. And that's what we're doing here. So that's the focal point. You'll get some front delt, you'll get some medial delt, you get some upper trap engaged as you do this, but you're trying to find those lower traps. One easy way to do it is to do it from the ground. Now, I'm extending my back here. That's a version that'll get people in touch with their mid back, which is where those lower traps are. So you can try that one out. Squeezing real light weights. Look at those little purple weights there. Squeezing through that area. Then, if you have the range of motion, you could progress to just moving the arms. Again, I'm trying to find those lower traps. It's tricky to find them with your brain because you're not often using them unless you are. Simpler way to get on a flat bench here. I'm doing the same thing, no real extension through the back. I'm in a position that I can find that's comfortable, chin on, chin off the bench, squeezing, pulling those arms to that overhead position, finding those lower traps, trying to pause just briefly every time at the top so you can feel those lower traps working. You could bump up the incline a little bit here. I'm at like a 30 degree on this. That works well, gives you a little more range of motion at the bottom. There's not a lot of resistance at the bottom. The top is where it gets real hard, right? From the side, same thing. Elbows mostly straight. If they get a little soft, well, fine, as long as, again, you're finding those lower traps. That's the big thing here. 45 degree, some people find it better from here. It's worth playing with the height of your position. These are all supported on a bench, which makes them simpler. You could do this from standing, as I showed initially, and that's the easiest, well, not easiest, the simplest way to get into it because you don't need anything. But if you have an incline bench, you can support your chest, which takes that kind of position out of it, which makes it even simpler for you to find those lower traps. Here I'm on a 45 degree like hyper back extension thing. This one I'm up at like 75 degrees. You could go there. You could then bring it a little lower. Again, the 45 degree, playing with positions to where you can find it the most. But again, the focal point of this Y raise or this trap 3 raise is to find those lower traps. Upper traps and delts get plenty of work with plenty of other things. Not that we're avoiding that here, just trying to get your brain into your lower traps. So play with it, standing, seated, lying, 45 degree extension, do them all, see if we can get those lower traps working.